Hi guys, Howard here with part 3 of my jazz guitar lessons. Parts 1 and 2 have really been enjoyed by a lot of viewers, especially the first one. And a lot of viewers wanted more, okay? So if you haven't checked out parts 1 and 2, you might want to do that first before moving on to this lesson here, okay? Now, what I'm going to be talking about in this particular lesson is what is called shell chords. You may have heard that term. What these actually are guide tone chords, but a lot of players just refer to them as shell chords. They only contain 3 notes, but the 3 most important notes, the first, the third, and the seventh, okay? And the seventh will vary depending on the chord, a dominant seventh, a major seventh, a minor seventh, but we will talk about all of that. But the first thing I'm going to do is relate it to the very first jazz guitar lesson, part 1 in this series, okay? So we're going to be in the key of C, and in that first lesson, we mapped out that the chords in the key of C now those are big voicings, right? Those are 6-string or at least 5-string voicings. So with shell chords, like I said, we're just playing what might be called the king, queen, and prince notes of the chord. So for that first major seventh, C major seventh, we're simply playing this. And there's different ways that you can play these chords. If you're using your fingers, you can play them finger style, and that also allows you to do things like you can kind of pluck the chord out, put the bass note in front of it. That type of thing. But you can also play them with a pick. You can hybrid pick them. Same idea. Or anything you want to do is perfectly acceptable. But the point is that you're just playing those 3 notes. The first, the third, and the seventh, okay? So in the key of C, referring back to the first jazz guitar lesson, we have these chords. C major 7, this would be the D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G dominant 7th, A minor 7, and then for the B minor 7 flat 5, you can play the same thing, or you can play, which some players would prefer to do to get that flat 5 in there. So that travels right up the scale. Right? So that gives you your minor and major 7th shapes off of the 5th string, the A string. Dominant 7th as well. But what I'm going to show you here is how to do that off of the 6th string, as well as the 5th string like we just did, and also off of the 4th string, okay? To know these shapes off of each one of those strings is a really important thing for anyone getting into jazz guitar, okay? It's sort of the basics of it, really, okay? So this is how you play a major 7th off of the 6th string. So this would be a G major 7th. I'm at the 3rd fret. So we have a G major 7th, and then we have the C major 7th we just played, and then off of the 4th string, the D string, we would have, and that would be an F major 7th, whatever your root tone is. And of course, all of these chords are movable, right? So those are your major 7ths off of the E, the A, and the D strings, okay? Really cool stuff to know. Now, you also want to know how to play your minor 7ths, okay? So we'll do that as well. Minor 7ths off of the 6th string are, or you can play them like that. That would be a G minor 7th. Then, of course, the shape we've already done would be a C major 7th. Okay, and then a minor 7th off of the D string. That would be an F minor 7th, right? So now we've got major and minor 7ths off of those 3 strings. So now let's talk about dominant sevenths, okay? So a G dominant seventh would be, and then a C dominant seventh would be, and then an F dominant seventh would be. Now that's actually 4 strings, so I'm sort of breaking the rules there, but I think it sounds better. You can just play that or just that, but I think that the dominant seventh off of the D really sounds best as a 4-string chord. Now again, that's just major sevenths, minor sevenths, and dominant sevenths, okay? But off of those 3 strings, which I think is really important. There are many more shell chords, okay? We're just scratching the surface here. This is beginning jazz guitar after all. But mastering those shapes and knowing them in the different keys is really important. We know that it's major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and minor 7th flat 5, right? So you kind of want to know that in all the keys if you can, but it's pretty easy to map out just using the shape of a major scale. So for instance, in the key of G, we would have G, A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp. And we would apply that rule of thumb to it. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor 7th flat 5. So for the key of G, we would have G major 7, A minor 7, B minor 7, C major 7, D dominant 7th, E minor 7, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and back to G major 7. So you can really see the advantage of knowing how to play these chords off of those 3 strings as a starting point, right? So you could play an E minor 7 to an A dominant 7th, to a D major 7, to a G major 7, C7 sharp 9, you might know the tune I'm mapping out here, F7, F sharp 7, B minor to B7, right? Playing the changes of Spain, for instance. Pretty fun stuff once you get into it. And again, this is just scratching the surface of shell chords. There are many more that you can play, and you guys can let me know if you'd like to know more about them, and I will put it all together for you, okay? Hope you enjoyed it. Part 3 of Beginning Jazz Guitar. We'll see you guys soon.